Righto guys, time to finish up the last few little bits on this one and then handball it back to Liam.
Hell yeah, so we're going to get all this thing back together, and in this video we're going to go from this.
What are you doing?
Try and do the finger snap thing, the thing you do.
No, only I can do that. It's like this.
You dog.
Just leave the finger clicking to me, bro.
Every time! Right on, so we want to get this thing back together. Not much has changed over here though, has it, Kurt? We've put a bit of paint on though, and that makes it look even better than it did before.
Yeah, paint's in. Sick of talking about that.
Yeah.
We're going out the back. Transcooler's going under there, and then we're going to get the steering done, and we're putting it all back together. That's it.
That's it.
No more talking, Jeff. That's it.
Alright, let's do it. There you go. She's in, mate.
That's it, man.
That turned out pretty good.
Couple of brackets.
Yeah.
A little bit of 3mm aluminium, some nutserts. Pretty basic, but plenty strong enough. So
yeah.
Overall, I think I'm pretty happy with it. Another fit for purpose application.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's one of those things you can see that we've left fairly decent air gap there, so that spal fan can draw a bunch through, keep trans cool. We did think about mounting it up a little bit closer, but I reckon that's a good gap there.
Yeah, I'd rather have more gap than not enough. Like you said, once you get a bit tight, you've got nowhere to pull the air from.
Yeah.
So, got plenty of room over here if we decide to do exhaust down both sides. Like with these bumperettes, you've got the provision for exhaust on both sides. So there's plenty of room there for a 6-inch round muffler as well if we decide to go that way. So, all in all, works mint.
Yeah, sweet. Oh, now it's time to go back up front and do that steering rack.
Yes. Yep. Let's get that steering started.
Sweet.
All right. We're back in the engine bay once again. It's time to attack this steering. So obviously, first things first, we've got to remove the rack, get all the steering components out the way. You won't be able to see from that angle, but there's two mounts to mount the rack. Basically, you're going to have to just cut the welds through the middle and remove them both off. I'm going to move the steering rack 30 millimeters that way, and the reason we're doing that is because we're not running the conventional starter conversion. A lot of people put you can get a couple different places make the left hand side starter conversion, puts it over here rather than over here. We've opted not to go that way, and there's just enough room. If you move the steering rack 30 millimeters that way, you can get the steering all working and with the starter motor there. So that's the route we've decided we're going to do.
Yeah.
A little bit more work maybe, and probably people would probably get a bit nervous cutting off steering components off the K-frame, but that doesn't bother me one little bit at all. So
that's it. And we got the longer steering arms for each end, so that even though we move the rack across, the tracking and the steering will be the same. It's not like you're going to lose half.
No, that's right. I'll get the I'll find out what parts are for what off Liam. I don't know them off the top of my head, but we'll put that information in the video later on or in the link below. So if you are considering going this way, you know what parts to use. That'll help you out a little bit. Liam done a little bit of research there to figure that out.
Yeah.
I think what I'm going to do is, once again, you can't see from there, but the way this K-frame shape, it has actually a bit of an angle this way and that way. So as I move the brackets that way, this steering rack up this end is going to come out this way, and as I slide it that way, it's going to go in that way, which is going to put the steering rack on the piss a little bit. So my idea at this point is to cut both of these off. I'll slide this one over the 30mm that we need, and then I think I'm going to make a new bracket on this side, which will bring the bolt center back out to bring us back square with the K-frame. And also I can shorten it a bit on this side because we've got a bolt here for the lower control there that's going to be in the way. So I'll shorten that off and maybe extend it here so we've still got the same footprint and the same strength capacity with how it's been engineered. So that's enough yapping. Let's take this out. Throw the box on. Okay, so steering rack is in. I've just got the mounts tacked for now. I said before it was going to be 30mm towards the driver's side. We did that initially and turns out it was too far this way. The intermediate shaft that we got doesn't have enough wiggle room with how it all bolts up. It was going to be too long and it would have needed to be shortened. So what I've done is I've brought it back this way another 8 to 10mm, so that lands us at about 22mm from the original position. It's not ideal. It's definitely not the easier way. The left-hand starter conversion would definitely have been the easier way. I didn't really want the starter over here with all the dump pipe and stuff through it. That was my original thought pattern, but looking at it now, it probably wouldn't have really been super close to the dump pipe anyway. But anyway, in hindsight, that's what we've done. Yeah,
being that the dump pipe sort of goes over behind the bell more or less than where the starter is, it probably, like you say, but oh well, we're here now.
Yeah, that's right. Like in theory, when you're looking at something, you can see it's a little bit more obvious. No big deal, but this is still, you know, for someone like myself who's got a grinder and a welder, this way works fine. But just for you guys at home, if you are looking at doing this, just know that there is a bit of rooting around in cutting this off, and it's not as straightforward even as what I first thought. So yeah, maybe get the left-hand starter conversion if you're not handy with a welder.
Oh, it's good news though now, because what we can do is we can pull this dummy block out, we can weld those mounts on for good, and then we can start reassembling this car.
So we'll start throwing the stuff back in. Also, I suppose we better mention the tie rod ends. This side, now that I've only moved it 20mm, we might only have to just run a die nut over this part of the thread. I'm not even sure if that's going to work. We'll either have to find another tie rod that's slightly shorter, just so we can bring it back, because obviously it's moved this way, we need to take it back towards it. So we'll either find a tie rod that's shorter, or we can run a bit more thread with a die nut, although that doesn't look like that's going to work. This side is the VT side, which is a bit longer, so we can shorten that one to suit. So that's what we'll do a little bit later on as well, but all in all, getting there.
Cool, man. Let's do this. Throttle cable goes on first, you mutt.
Bro,
Ah.
where's your head at? Last test fit.
Absolutely stoked, mate.
She's
Look
together.
at that.
Well, it's together as much as what it can be in phase one of the visit to the shed.
That's it. So from here, obviously, I guess we can just quickly run through what we've done. So we fabricated all the intercooler piping, modified the lower radiator support and lowered the radiator down, mounted the intercooler, fabricated the dump pipe.
Haven't welded it yet, as you can see, but that
Yeah.
will get welded in the video. We just haven't done it at this point.
Yeah, we're going to weld that right now. We just wanted to make sure that nothing else was going to move or buckle or anything. We've notched the inner wheel arch. We've also notched the firewall. And then if we get towards the back of the car, obviously I'm not going to get underneath, but we've got the transcooler in the back, as well as fuel cell, the Astro Power steering pump and the battery tray down the back there. So
Steering rack as well, that's the other thing.
yep, steering rack mods. We've actually done a hell of a lot, really.
Heap of little stuff.
Yeah,
Heap of little stuff we've just squeezed in whenever we got a chance. So
yeah. So from here on, we can send the car back to Liam. Liam is now going to be wiring the car as well as plumbing the fuel system.
everything else, yeah.
Yep, and putting the interior back together, all that jazz. So
Tons of stuff to go.
We've got it to a point where now, once he's done his bit, it'll be ready for a first fire up.
Yeah, that's it. It was never going to get finished start to finish here. This was just, like I keep saying on this video and all the other ones, it was just get the first part of the fabrication done, get it up to a point where now we've got other stuff we want to do. I want to get my car started because I've had enough. Got another couple little jobs to do. It's had its time here, so
Yep.
Liam's got tons of stuff he can go on with, and it's going to be good.
Yep, that's it. So for now, boys, on the next video you're going to see a different car. It won't be this one.
Won't be a Turbo LS.
Won't be a Turbo LS, that's right. We've got something totally, completely different to get started on. So make sure, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. But thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this series, and there'll be plenty more to come.
We'll be back with this one and plenty more.
That's it, for sure. So until the next one, we'll catch you around.
See you, boys.
Cheers, mate.